Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. First of all, thank you to everyone who checked out the last video. And today I'm going to be telling you about a crazy experience my housemate and I had in the stock market last month, where we made approximately $10,000. I know 10,000 seems like a lot, but stick with me and I'll tell you what happened. Stay tuned. Okay guys, like I just said, I know $10,000 sounds like a lot of money, but I'm here to tell you how it happened, the things I learned from the experience, and the mistakes I made, so you can learn from them, avoid those mistakes, and have even better returns in your investments or in your portfolio. Before I go into detail, I just want to highlight a few points that I believe were key contributors to our success or to the experience we had. And these are also going to be my key talking points for this video. Number one point, even though this is a very cliche one that people say all the time, it is true, and it really hit home for us with this experience we had last month, and that is cash is king. And when I say that, I mean always have liquid cash available, no matter how big or small. You never know when you're going to need it, and you never know when it's going to come in handy. Second is to keep your ears to the ground and always be aware of new trends, new discoveries, and in essence, any new events happening in the finance world and even beyond the finance world, in life in general. I feel this is a very key thing that a lot of people don't do. We don't stay in touch with the things going on around us. The last point is to do your research. Do not invest in anything you do not understand, because knowledge is power, and knowledge is gotten through information that you gain from research. So make sure to improve your understanding in any topic that sparks your interest. Back to my first point, and that is cash is king. So my housemate and I recently started investing in individual stocks. I generally used to stay away from individual stocks just because of how volatile they are. If you remember in my second video, I told you I generally invest in ETFs because I feel these are safer investments. And that is true. Most of my portfolio is still invested in ETFs. However, I'm at a point right now where I can afford to take more risk. So my housemate and I started looking into these opportunities. And we always try to make quick and informed decisions. And what do I mean when I say quick and informed decisions? So we always do our research. Like I just said, you always want to make sure that you're doing your research before you invest in an opportunity. But we don't sit on the opportunities for too long. We make sure that we're being decisive. And it goes back to something my dad taught me when I was younger, which is something that he struggled with, and that is analysis paralysis, where you end up taking too much time analyzing an opportunity and you don't invest in that opportunity and you miss out on the gains. So make sure you're being decisive, do your research, and then if you feel an opportunity you're looking at has room for gains, stick with it and go along with it. So why is cash king? Remember I just spoke about keeping your ear to the ground and knowing what's going on in the world around you. So my roommate and I recently heard about a stock that we felt was going to see a lot of gain, and we felt the stock was going to see gain because the industry this company works in was previously very affected by COVID. So a lot of businesses in that industry closed down, but with things opening back up in the States, we saw a lot of potential for this stock because the company is actually a US based company. So we heard about this stock, we did our research in the afternoon, and we felt, okay, this was a gamble we were willing to make. And I say gamble because investing in the stock market, sometimes it feels like a gamble because you never really know what's going to happen. So we invested in this stock that afternoon. This was a very sudden investment for my housemate and I. We heard about this investment, let's say it was a Monday morning, and Monday afternoon, in the case of my roommate, he already triggered his purchase and I triggered mine on Monday evening. So this was a lot more sudden than it usually happens for us. And we both happen to have liquid cash available in our investment portfolios. So that's why it was so easy for us to trigger the accounts or the purchases. If we had all our money invested in other opportunities, we would have had to sell those opportunities and then reinvest the money. And that is not necessarily a good thing because some opportunities may be at a low point when you're looking to make a new purchase. So you'd be selling for a loss in order to buy a new opportunity, and you never want to sell at a loss. So always have liquid cash available that you can invest. Remember I told you I was going to be telling you about some mistakes I made so you can learn from them. This was one of such mistakes. So I waited till the market was closed because I was still doing a bit of research. And when I was convinced, I put in an order to buy the stock as soon as the stock market opened the following day. This was a huge learning opportunity for me because I learned that you should never do that. So in essence, there's a lot of market manipulation that goes on between when the market closes and between when the market opens. So as a result of that, when the markets open in the morning, you might see fluctuations in market value, or sorry, in stock price versus what it was when the stock market closed the previous day. In this case, the stock went up $5 from what my roommate actually bought it for. So I bought the stock at $5 higher than what my housemate or my roommate bought it for. In the end, I ended up making a good return on this investment, so it didn't hurt me as much. But in essence, it's something you want to be careful about. You want to make sure that you're going along with the market timing when you're making your purchases. Or if you have to wait till the next day to make your purchase, wait for a couple of hours after the market opens so that the stock stabilizes before you make your purchase. The second point is to keep your ear to the ground. So like I said, with this opportunity, my housemate and I actually heard about it from someone else. I want to stress that because not every opportunity you come across is going to be as a result of your own personal research. Sometimes you hear things from people and you want to be able to capitalize on those opportunities. So that's why it's important to make sure that you're always expanding your network and talking to people, because the more people you talk to, the more people you engage, the more likely it is that you're going to hear something that you can capitalize on and make some gains for yourself. The third point is to always make sure you're doing your research. So for this point, I want to make it clear that you should always have multiple sources of information before you make a decision. So one point or one source I like to go with is Yahoo Finance. I use that to look at the general market sentiment on a stock before I invest in that opportunity. You can also use StockWits or Reddit to look at market sentiment on stocks. The second thing is your circle. So I am fortunate to have friends who are very big on investing as well. So I always share my investment ideas with them before I go ahead with the opportunity, so they can give me feedback on how they think I can make it better, or reasons why they think it might not be a good opportunity. And that goes back to something I addressed when I was speaking about having cash as king, or sorry, as having your ear to the ground. You want to make sure that you're always expanding your network and surrounding yourself with like-minded people, right? Because that's going to help you on your journey as an investor or in life in general. The second thing about doing your research is you want to set a window for yourself where you're going to be carrying out your research. Going back to what we said before, you always want to make sure that you're making informed decisions. And addressing what my dad also taught me, you never want to get into a situation where you're having analysis paralysis, where you're spending too much time on your analysis and then you don't end up going up with the opportunity. So for myself, I give 2 or 3 days to make a decision on a stock. And like I said, I'm still very new to investing in individual stock. So with the more experience I get, I might decide to shorten that window or I might decide to increase it. But for now, I generally give myself 2 or 3 days to make a decision. One last thing I want to touch on before the end of this video is the market exit point. So whenever you buy a position for short-term gains, you want to make sure that you're being objective, control your emotions, and don't get greedy. So every stock is going to have potential to keep going up, but you need to have a goal for yourself where at that level of return, you're going to be satisfied with what you've gotten back, regardless of if the market goes on higher. And you also want to take note that there's a possibility that the stock can fall from the position it's at now. So you need to ask yourself, if I sold this stock at this value, would I be satisfied with my return? So be objective and don't get greedy, so you can actually go ahead and realize those gains. Okay guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me in the comments or on my Instagram. I will respond to you. Thank you again for all those who have subscribed. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a video. Make sure you like this video. Thank you and stay blessed.
Bro, just say they're related, man. that he did. When will YouTube start paying us?
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched.
The important thing is to be the important thing is to be decisive. He's almost gone.
Guys, sure you don't shoot this video with me. Just talk because
Bro,
just
please.
inside the video and just be talking.
Bro, I'll talk too much. I don't want.
YouTube actually work.